Well, good morning. This is Hap May, and this is the Legal Play.
Yes, so we're here with Hap May and Annalee May. Annalee is in our probate department. She's kind of our probate specialist. And today's topic is fiduciary roles in estate planning and probate. So, what's a fiduciary?
Well, fiduciary is somebody who has a responsibility. It's the highest legal responsibility you can have to take care of somebody else's asset property in the process. And it is basically the same duty. It's a duty that you have to put the client or the beneficiary above any interest of yours, not have any conflicts with that, and owe a full legal duty that you could be accounted for in court.
The way I like to think about it is if you are the executor or the executrix of a will, you step into the shoes of the beneficiary. So you want to act in their best interest. And that has many different forms. And when you're an executor or an executrix of an estate, you have responsibilities. You have to take an oath. You have to first let all the creditors know about the passing of the decedent and advise them that the estate is now open. So you have a duty to the creditors. You also have a duty to let all the beneficiaries know that the estate has been opened. Give them a copy of the will so that they can read for themselves what is in it. And then there are several other large items that have to be taken care of. You have to inventory the estate. You have to provide an accounting and let the court know and let the beneficiaries know what you're doing. Are you paying the debts? Are you dispersing things from the estate, monetary things? Are you then sending a watch to one of the beneficiaries that have been identified in the will? You have that duty.
So that's the executor, though. There's other roles. There's other fiduciary roles in estate planning and probate. If we go back to like just estate planning, if you're forming a trust out of a will, you're going to have to name some trustees too, and trustees have also fiduciary roles, fiduciary duties.
Yes.
What would be the types of trustees that we might see in estate planning or in probate?
Well, I mean, basically two kinds of trusts. Those that are created immediately, by transferring property to a trust or to a trustee for the benefit of one or more beneficiaries. And that's called an inter vivos trust, a trust that is created while the grantor is still alive. And then there is a testamentary trust, which really doesn't exist until the grantor dies. And then usually there is a set of provisions within the will itself that constitute the trust, appoint trustees, fund it with whatever corpus or property there is, define, how it is to be distributed amongst the beneficiaries, whether they get it at a certain age, whether they get it so they can go to college or health maintenance support standards, and all of that is in the trust. And so that a trustee has a fiduciary relationship.
And does the trustee also have a responsibility to maybe get someone else involved if investments have to be made to keep the money growing?
That's true. A trustee does have, although they have a lot of discretion as to how to invest or what to do with the properties, and there's a thing called a business judgment rule that is there to sort of protect fiduciaries so long as they use reasonable business judgment.
And it's like a prudent investor rule or prudent investor duty.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about. Fiduciary roles and going back to putting the beneficiaries first, is saying like, oh, I've always wanted to invest in this thing, this fund over here, and now I've suddenly got this trust fund I can do that with. You can't be thinking like that.
That is right. That's a lot of problems, particularly when you have unsophisticated trustees who may have pet projects that they like.
Or wanna, use the trust money to kind of work out their own deals,
Yes.
loan money back and forth. There's all of these things that the trustee can and can't do that
Right,
falls into
right.
these fiduciary duties of
And-
putting the client and the beneficiary first.
And through an executor as well, or anybody in a fiduciary relationship. There is, just to go through the genre, there is guardians of the estate, which sometimes you have an incapacitated person. They will appoint a guardian, usually two sets of guardians. One is guardian of the person to make sure they go to the right doctor and the right living conditions, and if they need to be in some sort of system, they take the right system. That's the control of the person, make sure they're taking medication, things of that nature. Then there's also the guardian of the state, and that's the person who takes control of the assets of the incapacitated person.
Make sure nothing's being
right,
wasted and
right, and it oftentimes, you have your grandma who is, incapacitated, and the sons, the sons could be daughters, but since I'm with two women, we'll use sons as examples of bad guys who are just spending mom's money, and mom was basically letting them do that to the point where it's mom's detriment, and a guardian comes, the estate comes in and tells the son, no more. This is mom's money. She needs it, and to protect mom. A lot of times from other family.
well, and if the person is already in a fiduciary role, is listed as a guardian and acting in that capacity, is a trustee and is acting in that capacity, and then starts squandering the money, then you've got your breach of fiduciary duty claims.
I believe this firm has handled a number of claims representing beneficiaries who have been wronged, putting it nicely, been wronged by their in these cases trustees, but could be a executor as well.
And can the same person be the executor and a trustee of a trust and a guardian of some kind? Can the same person?
Well, you couldn't be a guardian and an executor, because your guardian while somebody's alive,
Right.
Executor when somebody's dead. But as far as being trustee, yes, that happens quite often.
Being executor of the probate and the estate, and a trustee of some trust that is created out of it.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I guess we'll talk more later on about executors, but because there's more court oversight with executors, there are some different issues they have to face.
Right. And so the plan is for the next topic to do a deeper dive into the roles of executor and how that might look perhaps in independent or dependent administration, and what executors can do. And Annalise become a good expert on all of the things the executor has to do, and helping the executors kind of walk through when you've got a larger estate that you're having to deal with, which there's a lot.
Absolutely. Trying to file an accounting today. There's a lot that goes into that filing that you don't think about, but
Right.
we'll talk about that later.
Right. And some of the other duties, fiduciary duties, that you don't think about anymore, but maintaining confidential information, redacting, accounts and account numbers and social security numbers from documents. That is a fiduciary duty. So it's not just about making sure the money doesn't disappear.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I feel like there's a lot of people that say, oh, okay, this is a lot, but I'm a smart person, I'm pretty capable, I've got some time, I can do this all myself. But I think it's good to have a firm that specializes in this stuff, that you're employing to kind of just make sure you're remembering things like that.
Yes.
Before you go and file the accounting. I can put up a spreadsheet. Remembering to redact, account numbers and things like that, so that you don't breach some kind of duty of confidentiality and things. Yeah.
Yes, they keep making rules.
Okay.
All right. This is Hap May with the Legal Play.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.